This is Sell with GNL, and welcome to my first episode. Together, we're going to break down the entrepreneurial spirit, mindset, work ethic, family life, and of course, a tasteful amount of real estate sprinkled throughout. The goal is to educate, motivate, create a safe space where businessmen and women alike have the ability to be vulnerable and just show that they're human. With that being said, I'd love nothing more than to introduce my first guest. He's been a lender for 8 years and is currently the branch manager for All Close Lending here in Las Vegas. When he's not approving loans or making some of the best video content out there, this retired professional soccer player still makes time to hone in his skills in an indoor league where they constantly win the championship.
That's right.
And I don't think that that's fair, but whatever. That all sounds awesome, but the best thing about my guest is he is an amazing father of 3. Some refer to him as their lender. I'm lucky enough to call him my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan Simental.
Dude, that was a legit introduction.
You know, I try.
I love it.
I try. You know, I would hope that if I was a guest on a show one day, other than yours, because I kind of did my own.
Yeah.
And I would get some epic intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, the Bobby Bone show.
Yeah.
So Bobby's he makes the greatest introductions. He asks the deepest, most unique questions that everybody wants to know, but everybody's too busy asking the questions that everybody already asks.
Yeah, the service level questions.
Yeah, so I'm trying to dig deep.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it, man.
Going deep.
Let's go.
All right, well, let's just get into it. What made you pursue lending? It had to have been something.
Yeah, my mom.
Really?
Yeah, that's simple.
So
So I'll walk you through the process.
Well, you're of Hispanic heritage,
yes.
So I want you role play your mother. How did that go?
So my mom. So I've been around real estate and loans since I was 9 years old.
Okay.
My mom was a loan officer, branch manager, realtor. All of the above is what my mother was, and I never wanted to be a part of it. I said, "This is boring. You're always working."
Yeah.
And I said, "Nope." So fast forward, first year in college, playing soccer, having a lot of fun. I got my high school sweetheart pregnant. And my mom gave me 2 choices. She said, "Ivan, are you going to A, continue in school and not support your son, or B, come work for me, learn the business, and support your son?" So I was like, well, shit, I need to support my son.
Yes, it was like that.
Yes. So I started processing for her. Mm-hmm. Then that was cool. That was fun, making some money. And I would see the account executives come in with their Mercedes and BMWs, some of them with their Porsches and nice cars. And I was like, man, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I reached out to one of them and I was like, hey, are they hiring at your job? Long story short, I became a account executive at a wholesale bank. And up until probably half a year when the mortgage industry crashed, I got out. And yeah, that's how I started in lending the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mortgage lending for 8 years, but in the business for how long?
So mortgage lending for a total of 8 years.
Okay.
Around the business my whole life.
Yeah.
Back in it this second time around, going on almost 5 years now. 4 years.
Nice.
4 years. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about 5 years ago then till today.
Yeah.
So when did you start really seeing growth? Can you pinpoint a night that you had or, a day that you did something different that just changed the trajectory of your business?
I don't want to say it was a night or a day, but I will say it was the consistency of showing up on social media. Because that was a huge asset for my business, because at first I sucked. I was awful. And I still think I'm kind of bad, but practice makes perfect. And just having good relationships with some good real estate agents. I think it's just the consistency of putting in the work day in, day out. It's kind of like when you start working out at the gym or golf swing, right? Your first one's going to be shitty.
Yep.
And over time it gets better. You don't notice oh man, where I was day 1 to 2 years later, right?
Yeah. It takes you, and it takes a while to get to a point where you're holy shit, this is where I'm at, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's important to like kind of get to a point down the road where it happens like that. Because if you're too worried about what it looks like or how successful you are when you're in the process of busting your ass, then you're not really working hard.
Yep.
You know, like if the consistency, the daily routine of, you know, wake up at this time, do this much work by then, maybe a little bit of balanced lunch, right? And then you kind of get back into whatever it is you have in the afternoon. And if you can stick to that quota, so to speak, like there will be a time where you're going to be, like I said, like, holy shit. Like,
yep. Look where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Like, wow, how far have I come?
Okay. So, well, I mean, I would say like, so would you say your biggest factor and what's allowed your business to grow is social media?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So was that like a you idea, or did somebody kind of come to you, or did you see somebody that kind of motivated you to get into it?
Yeah, it's a good question. So my background before I got back into the mortgage industry the second time was in social media and marketing and content creation.
Sweet.
So I saw mortgages and I saw real estate, and it's not fun. Mortgages aren't fun, right? Unless you're showing $1 million homes, but that really doesn't happen often. Yeah, you can go out and do that, but
well, and even if you get like $1 million home, right, from the lending side, you get paid off of the loan amount, right?
Correct.
So these people with a lot of money, they're usually not financing, you know, with minimum down.
Exactly. So I just applied it to the lending side, and I just wanted to make it fun, easy to understand, and entertaining. So
yeah,
that was the thought process behind that.
Yeah, I would say that, and I don't know if it's just because I wasn't in the algorithm, but when I first came across you and the type of content you were doing, it was one of the first that I had seen, right? Like I had been a realtor for some time before, but the algorithm wasn't kicking me real estate videos or mortgage videos. There was a few people that did, and they were like the Dave Ramseys, you know, stuff, Grant Cardone,
yeah.
right? So I don't know. I feel like you were one of the pioneers, and you need to get a little bit more love for the content you push out. But that's what we're trying to do here.
Let's go, man, please.
So, okay. So, well, if someone wanted to start their own business, aside from you've got to be on social media, right? Like, what's the one thing they need to know to get started? Mindset.
I would say
they gotta work for.
I mean, I think mindset is an obvious one, but I would think I personally, you need to have a coach and an action plan, right? Because if you have a coach who's done what you are trying to do or who's experiencing what you're trying to do, they can kind of provide that insight. It's like, hey, don't do this because this is what's going to happen. Instead, do this, and this could be your outcome, right? So, mindset, I think that's a given. You have to have that for a successful business, career, anything that you're trying to do to be successful in.
Okay. So I kind of want to get onto this next part, and it doesn't have to be real estate related, right? It could be about anything that you are seriously passionate about. Like, for example, me, like, I don't eat any bad oils. Like, I will tell anyone and their mom, like, don't eat canola oil, don't eat seed oils, sunflower and safflower oil. It's just terrible for you. So it's something I'm passionate about. Like, I wish everybody would implement that into their lives because I truly believe it would make a difference for them.
Yeah.
So, like, what's that one thing that if you could just tell everybody you know about that you're so passionate about that you think would change all of their lives?
This is geared more towards parents. And I would say trust your intuition, and you'll feel if what's happening with your kid or what's going on is right or wrong. Right? There's so many like outside voices trying to dictate how you should raise your kid or what you should do and how you should do it. But I think it's like it deep down, like this doesn't feel right. I shouldn't be doing it. Follow that because we get influenced easily by social media or whatever we see online.
I think the biggest thing for me of like being a new dad is I'm trying to take, or at least I was trying to take the outside voices and like, okay, I understand. Let me try to appease you, right? Or let me try to do this so I make you happy because I know how it's important for you guys, to have this, right? And like, we didn't allow any visitors for the first 2 weeks that we had our daughter. 2 weeks after she was born. And it was like a big deal. And at first I was like, there's no way. Like my family is going to lose it.
Yeah.
Like, they want to see that baby. And it took me some time, and it took time for Molly and I to talk about it, for her to finally kind of get through to me that, like, it's not about them, right? Like, it's originally like what made her comfortable. And then once I kind of learned the purpose of it, like, it's all I wanted, right? And so instead of trying to worry about what everyone else thought, it was like, hey, this is what we want. This is what makes us comfortable. This is what makes us happy. You know, this is what we think is best for our daughter. And that's it, you know? And like that kind of thought process, like, I'm trying to implement it, like you said, and have that instinct and just be a better dad that way, you know?
Yeah. I think if you're not, if nobody's getting hurt, or if you're not hurting anybody with what you're doing with your kids, that's none of anybody's business. If you don't want anybody to see your kids for 6 months and you just want to keep them there and that's it, that's total. But hey, that's, you're doing that for your specific reason. For sure. And you shouldn't have to give an explanation.
Okay. Well, I want to definitely get more into like family life, kind of really see who you are more than I already know. But let's sideline that for a second. We're going to jump into our second segment. It's called Do You Got Game?
Oh.
So we see if my guest simply has got game. So in our world of real estate, mortgages, right? Like, we got to be very sociable, personal person.
Yeah.
My uncle likes to call it the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to ask you some questions. It might even include a little bit of role play. It depends how good you are. But I really just kind of want to see like who Ivan is as a business professional. Right.
All right.
So you're at a friend's house. They have a get together, 15, 20 people. You overhear someone talking about wanting to start the process to buy a home.
Okay.
You just overhear it. There could be 5, 10 feet away. What do? What's the strategy? Like, they're serious. Like, you know, if like they knew you were a lender, like you could lock this up.
You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I would do nothing.
Okay.
Like, legit do nothing.
That's fair.
Unless this person was a friend of mine, then I would be like, dude, what the hell? Why aren't you calling me?
Yeah.
Or why ain't I helping you, right? I've never been one to be like pushy or try to sell somebody, or if I overhear somebody at a coffee shop.
Give me your hand.
Yeah.
You need both now. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything. Unless it's a friend or somebody that I know, and I can like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, I'm not. I try not to be a salesy realtor. Like, I genuinely believe the things that I believe, and I'm passionate about sharing it, right? But like, I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, hey, it's me. Like, you know, like, let's buy a house. Yeah, I don't ever want to. I don't even want to have people say, if we're at a party, oh, stay away from him. He's going to talk about mortgages and real estate. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, no. I'll talk about it, like, if it comes up in conversation. Yeah. But that's that's all you hear. I don't bring it up either. Yeah. It's like, I already talk about it all day. Yes. You know? Okay, so your client of yours does not get approved for a loan. So how do you break the news? Well, it depends on the circumstances. Depends on whatever situation it is. But the grand scheme of it is, hey, I don't ever tell them no. It's a not right now. Yep. Hey, we didn't approve you right now, but that doesn't mean we can't approve you in 6 months to a year. So I follow up with an action plan. Yep. Yeah. And I think the action plan, or I call them game plans. Yeah. That's like when I'm speaking to my clients, is like, having that game plan is so much more valuable than not getting approved, like not looking to get approved in the first place, right? Because it lets you know how much you are approved for. Yes. Why you aren't approved for as much as you want to be. You know, if there's debts you have to pay off, or not even debts, just like lowering that minimum payment, right? So it allows you to really now have tangible like evidence of what your goals need to be, rather than just being like, hey, I'm just going to save money and hope that maybe I can get approved, right? So it makes things very visual, I feel like. Yeah. Even if it's like a mental visual, like you can really see everything. Even if it's just like a detailed email, like, hey, pay off this credit card, save $5,000, you know, whatever it is. Something that they can see and like, okay, I've done this, I've done that. And now I've been saying, okay, let's wait 4 months from when you finish all these tasks. So we can, whatever the action plan is or the game plan is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like this next one. So a realtor that you're working with, let's just say it's not me.
Okay.
They're just, you're sending them stuff to get signed. They're not getting it back. They're not doing what you would expect them to do to get the job done right. So how do you let them know they need to step it up?
So we're sending stuff to the realtor to sign.
Yeah, whether it's like an FHA mandatory form, like it just, whatever that you need from the realtor to get done is not getting done. You need them to, step it up.
Yeah. So I would say something along like, hey, we have contingencies in place for our clients. We don't want them to lose their money. That's the most important part. I mean, that's the most important thing for us is them to get into their home.
Yeah.
And meet the timelines and the contingencies.
Secure the money.
Exactly. So I would just remind them of like, hey, we have a duty to our clients to essentially get this shit done. And ask them, hey, is there anything that's holding you back from getting this document signed? If so, how can I help?
Okay. This next one I've always wanted to ask, and it's just like, I forget because I try, as much as you and I talk, it's mostly work. And then when we're just like, when I'm trying to learn things, I'm not asking you stuff about work.
Yeah.
So has anybody ever sent you fraudulent documentation?
Yes.
Okay, let's just get into that. How did that go?
I said, hey, I can't do this and you should stop this now because you can go to jail.
Yeah.
They were, obviously I dropped them as a client.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't feel comfortable even associating myself with a transaction like that because this is my career and just $5,000, $10,000, $15,000.
I mean, if they gave you fake documentation, I feel like that's not the real one wouldn't even suffice anyways, right?
Yeah. So it has happened.
So how did you know that it was false, fraudulent?
So when we asked for their tax returns, the numbers didn't match up. And then I started, obviously, my wife does Photoshop. I know Photoshop. I started looking at the documents and I was like, the numbers don't add up here. There's something off with their taxes or something like that. And then I just asked them, hey, I lost a copy of the tax of your W-2. Can you send it to me again? Sure enough, they sent the wrong one, the right one. Yeah. And it was like off by like, I think like 30 or $40,000, something like that. But yeah, not good.
I've never run into that before, but I've had somebody in the past say, hey, like, I've gotten rental homes this way. Like, is there something that we can do? Like, I'm just telling you because they could be my realtor. And I was like, I wouldn't be your realtor.
No way, get the hell out of here.
Like, yeah.
It's.
I don't care how good your
just
Photoshop.
Scary. Yeah. It's not a good place to be.
It's not worth the commission.
Yeah, no way.
Like, at all.
Nope, that's your career. Okay,
so I got a lot of other work questions. I feel like I'd prefer to kind of get into just life. So I'm a new dad. I love playing hockey. I golf probably more than I should, to be honest with you. I enjoy my Call of Duty. I'm not going to lie. So that's a lot to like try to keep up with, to like fulfill myself, but also still be like a present father that's fulfilling his duties, right? So like what helps you balance your time with work, wife, kids, hobbies?
Compromise. So Maddie and I, my wife, if she's feeling overwhelmed or if she's feeling like she needs a break, then I won't go play soccer. Or if she needs help with something during a soccer game, then I won't go play. But usually we're pretty good because she knows that that's my space to get away. Yeah. And I also think that women need spaces to go away too. Like, hey, you need to have girls' night or you need to have time with your friends because it's not always healthy where you're always being a mom. Like, and I say that with the most love and kindness because they also need to like, hey, let me just step back from being a mom for 3 or 4
Yeah.
hours and just go out and have fun with my girlfriends or whatever.
For sure. I feel like it's harder for the mom, especially if like they're breastfeeding and like, I mean, you literally made this human inside your body, right? So like even leaving, like Molly the other day had to leave, forget for what appointment, but she was gone for about an hour and a half, and it was just like so weird for her to be gone. And she's like, I have a baby at home, and like it's just their instinct in a sense is to just baby, 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 baby. And I don't know if it's just me or all dads, but like it's easier for us to kind of get away, right? It's like, oh, you have the baby. I was just with her.
Yeah.
She just ate, so I'm gonna go hit my golf simulator, right? But like it's harder for the moms to like get to a point where they like allow themselves to do that.
Yeah. Well, I agree 100%.
All right. So if you could go back in time, is there anything you change about your life?
Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot. Invest in real estate a lot sooner would probably be the most, one of the business wise would be one of the most important things that I would tell myself.
Yeah, I didn't even have the chance. I was too young.
Yeah.
If I like had new parents, but then I wouldn't look like myself. So that's a dice I'm not willing to roll with. I'm lucky I came out like this because 5'6". Just my dad told me growing up because I used to like beat myself up for being short, and I got bullied like in middle school. I won't say his name, but it's right here.
Ooh.
He used to tell me, he goes, son, when people tell you you're short, you tell them, God made me short, otherwise you would have no girls. He did this for you.
Yeah.
So like,
lucky.
I've always kind of, and I knew it was like a joke. I never took that seriously, but like, that's kind of how like I look at things is just, you know.
It is what it is. You can't control it.
No.
Like I can't control that I have big ears. I can't control.
They're not big.
Yeah, well, when I was younger.
I mean,
Yes.
Okay, I've seen some photos.
Yes, they're big. I can't control a lot of things, right? Like if you're gonna go bald, you can't control it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That's it.
Do you think my nose is big?
I don't think it's big. I think it's not that it's big. It's just
big on my face.
Yes. Yeah, because you're like.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But it's okay. That's how you look, man.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but like I jokingly tell Molly and like my family, I'm like, I'm gonna save money for like my daughter to have a nose job fund just in case she wants it. You know, I want her to know that like, hey,
it's there.
It's okay. Like we love ourselves, but it's also okay if you want to change, right?
Yeah.
And my Molly's like, don't do that. Like she's gonna like hate her nose like her whole life. I'm gonna be like, she's not gonna know she has it.
Yeah. And look, she's gonna know. If she does have a bigger nose, that's going to be something that she's going to be potentially insecure about because we all have insecurities.
I just hope I think she has my nose. It's too early to tell, I think.
Yeah.
But I hope she has Molly's.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So from my perspective, and I think from like everybody's perspective that knows you, follows you, it seems like you put in 2 times, maybe 3 times the amount of work as others. So like, how do you hold yourself accountable? Is it your morning routine? Is it something later in the day that you work to make sure that then you get to that point?
Ooh, I would say my wife, Maddie, she helps a lot with keeping my life and our life organized and just structured as structured as it can be. And we do have very specific type of routines. Like our morning routine is, we wake up at 5:30 or 6, take my nephew to school, come back, we have breakfast together usually. So when that's out of whack, it kind of feels weird. It kind of messes with the whole day. But yeah, I would say it's Maddie. She's the glue.
Aww.
Yeah, I love you, babe. She's sweet.
I love you too. She's great. I think I honestly love talking to Maddie on the phone. I'll call her if I can't get a hold of you every single time. Hey, friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, so now like I say friend, and I'm like, it's like rubbed off, and it's like her energy, like.
She learned that from me, by the way.
What, the friend?
Friend, yeah. I always say, hey, friend.
Do you?
Yeah, to like friends, not if they're not friends, I won't say.
No, for sure.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart though.
I don't know, maybe it's just like the higher pitched voice that like sticks when she does it.
But it's just like everybody likes her. Like she's just a nice.
She's a likable person.
Yeah, she really is.
She's kind to her soul.
Yes, 100%.
Speaking of kind, right? Like that's a big thing that like I look for in people. Like, are you actually kind? Are you caring? Like, do you give a shit?
Yeah.
So like now that we're a little bit older, you're older than me, so you're also wiser. For you to like seek a relationship out with someone, like what do they have to have? Like what makes it worth developing a relationship? Like otherwise it's just not worth the time.
Like a friendship? Like
yeah. Even someone in business, right? Like you don't want to do business with somebody who's just always in a bad mood. Yeah. Right?
I would say their attitude, their personality, how they carry themselves. Because if they're shitty people, I don't want to be around that. If they're negative, I don't want to be around that. If they're not optimistic, at least 80% of the time, I don't want to be around that. And it's just not worth it for my peace and my sanity. So their attitude and their personality, 100%. And then it doesn't need to be aligned with me. Yeah. It just needs to be good more times than it's bad. I think the biggest thing you said is like, your piece, right? Like, and if you are infringing on my piece, then it's got to go. It's got to stop. And it took me a long time, multiple therapy sessions, a couple books, an online group to like really learn that. And now, growing up, I used to be like Mr. Social Butterfly. I've learned that due to like my upbringing, like I was a people pleaser. I always wanted to make you laugh, make you smile, make you feel important in a way. And that was me throughout middle school, high school, until I was 20, 21, and even later. But like those are the prominent years, like trying to be somebody in this group of people that just didn't matter. And once I started like living for my own peace and like my actual inner circle of my people, is when I started seeing growth, mentally in my business, in finding better relationships and actually developing those relationships over others. Like someone could, be available 4 days a week. That doesn't mean that that's the most important relationship of your life. But like, it was like I was giving time to people that had time and not necessarily giving time to people that like mattered. Yes. If that makes sense. Or deserved it. Makes total sense.
So I think that's like, if I could have relationships knowing that, if I could have done that 10 years ago, I mean, I'm not saying I'd have more friends. I don't think that's the goal here, but like I would definitely have more meaningful or maybe even deeper relationships with the people that I have now.
Yes.
So a big thing for me, like with this podcast is like, I want to be able to have conversations that kind of get a little deep, talk about, growth mindset, things that have allowed businesses to grow, right? But like in a safe space where like, I'm not sitting in front of a camera, like, hey, I made this much money doing this and I'm so great, like wanted it to be something where like, it is genuine, it is real. So, I mean, from like one brother to the other.
One brother to the other.
I mean, like what could we talk about that like you try to live by, and again, it's a safe space. It's not going to be like you're being cocky or conceited, but like a way that you live, or, just the way that you are, that you work every day to try to be this idea, right? Like what is it that like you try to be in this world for your people? Not to outside eyes, but just like to your people.
Just a good human. I'm honestly, now that you're getting to hang out with me more, I think you're noticing that I'm very simple. Like even like when we go see houses, I don't say much. Yeah. I don't really do much. And I've even heard you, or you told Matt, like, I don't really know how to read him sometimes because For me,
just,
it's like
now that we've spent more time together, like you're definitely like you're chill, right?
Yeah.
Like before, I'd see you like for your birthday.
I was drunk, so it's different times.
Yeah,
Right?
but like you're just like if we hadn't gotten close the way we have in the recent year, like I would say like kind of how I explained myself earlier, like Mr. Social Butterfly. Like you're like, let's go party, you know, and like you're funnier and shit. Like so like that's I would assume that's you all the time. And now that we spend more time, it's like you're not. And but like I love that because like I'm not trying to like match some energy that like I'm just not like up to par to do. Like I feel like we are kind of the same person in that regard. Like I may like to do a lot of things or like I can't just sit and do nothing for a while, but I'm just like chill. I'm enjoying my life, like enjoying my people. And like that's like what I try to have more of. And that's why I work so hard, you know?
100%. I'm a big introvert. Like
I am more now than ever too.
Yeah. It's just who I am. It's just, I don't know. It's very like I can stay home for like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, same.
And not do anything.
I have everything in my house that I need.
Yeah.
Like before having my daughter, like it would be me and Molly, and we'd hang at the house. We would do some stuff, but like if you know she was at Pilates doing it, like I don't need to go anywhere. Like I got my game. I have my simulator. I have my dog. Like I will watch TV. Like like I have built a life, and my home is my sanctuary where it's like. I don't need to go anywhere. Yeah.
Like I'll do events and stuff like that, but for the most part, I'm home. Like I'd like to be home. If not, I get my battery gets drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
This is good.
Is there anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot. Yes. Give more than you take. This is in business. This is in your personal life. This is in every aspect of your life. Give more than you take because you will receive more. That's my philosophy. That's the way I think. And I don't know what I'm going to say. See? So I
love you.
Yes. I love you too, bro. It's just from my faith, my background is just if you give more than you take, you're gonna be blessed. And you might not be blessed monetarily or financially blessed, but you will be blessed. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
I feel like I need to have you on more often than not. Maybe we'll do like a monthly, like or every 2 months, like just a quick like 10 minute, like 15 minute like market update or something, right? Like keep you as like a reoccurring guest, you know?
You know I'm here.
All right. Well, guys, this has been Sell with GNL. As always, I guess not as always, this is the first one. So as you will hear me say for the rest of the time, stay gold. I love you. Peace.
Later, guys.